watched a good old-fashioned 50-over innings there from India. It was bowlers dominating at the start, a couple of gritty partnerships, and then the slog overs doing exactly what they're meant for. Some big slogs from Hardik Pandya. Wonderful cameo at the end to take India to 252, and from 18 for 4, you take 252 every day of the week. Yes, not batting out the 50 overs, but just one delivery there. Trent Bolt and Matt Henry were brilliant up top. They maybe could have bowled out, one of them at least, but in the end, it was Ambati Rayudu with 90. Hardik Pandya right at the end, 45 of 22, and a great partnership between Rayudu and Vijay Shankar, and then Rayudu and Kedar Jadhav that really gave India the platform to go hard at the end and get what should be a more than competitive total. Here on Cricbuzz Live, got Zaheer Khan and Harsha Bhogle with me. As I said, from 18 for 4, you take 252. But let's remember, New Zealand haven't scored anything close to 250 in this entire series.
Well, yes, but doesn't mean that they won't do it today. I'll leave Zach to tell you whether 250 is a good enough score. I get the impression that it's something to play with. You've given your bowler something to bowl, but it's not something you sit in a dressing room and say, yeah, we won it. But so many positives for India today. From 18 for 4, I actually thought Vijay Shankar looked the best batsman at that time. Rayudu then built on and finished it well, and I just think Hardik Pandya's got something else about him. There's something else. You look at some cricketers and say, he's got something that other people don't have.
Yeah, it was really the recovery that you're talking about. I mean, two phases of the innings, those two partnerships, and then to seal those partnerships, you needed that big push at the end, and in style it came from Hardik Pandya.
I think that partnership was very crucial. It was very important in these scenarios you respond in that manner. That's what we've been talking about. You know, when you don't have that start, like at 10 overs, you are 4 wickets down. You know, you are virtually down and out of the game. Does your team has got the ability? Does your batting lineup has that ability of bouncing back from there? And if you are able to do that, then that gives a lot of confidence for top order also on good days. You know, on top order on good days, they can go after bowling even in more aggressive manner when they have the confidence in the lower middle order. And this partnership was very important from that aspect of the game. Once the platform was laid, you know, you had Kedar Jadhav batting beautifully through that phase. Hardik Pandya was exceptional. I think, you know, he's a special talent. Yes. I think that's why everyone has been talking about, raving about him, backing him. That does really change the balance of the side. You know, when you have someone who can do this with the bat and gives you that 10 overs with the ball as well.
But let's not forget that second partnership, because what tends to happen is the manner of dismissal. Vijay Shankar was run out over there, and somehow even, you know, the non-striker would be feeling that, was I involved, was I responsible for that? Kedar Jadhav comes in there, and that second follow-up partnership was equally vital.
Yes, they got on what, 74, didn't they?
74 of 99.
Yes, 74 of 99. It was a partnership that was led by Rayudu, as it should be, because he was a set batsman in. And I liked the way Rayudu then, having made such a slow start, it was almost a Dhoni-esque innings. It was a very slow start. And
we called it that during Cricbuzz combo.
Did you? Ah, there you go. But I liked the way he took leadership of that next partnership and then upped the score rate and took India to a possible 250, which of course Hardik then went and finished. But I liked the way his innings developed. Initially I said, I'm not so sure. Vijay Shankar looked better in that phase. But I love the way he took responsibility and went on. The good thing about Ambati Rayudu is there's always more to him than you think there is. You ask him to open the batting, he'll say yes. We discussed that in the IPL a lot. He never says no, he says yes to everything. And he's got those runs in a difficult situation today. I think he's locked his place in that World Cup team. But there's always more to Rayudu Garu than you think there is.
Only during that run-out possibility he said yes and no.
Yeah, well, there you go. He said yes and no. Good call.
That's a good one, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, since Harsha did mention it, you agree there. We talked about Shami in the earlier part of the series getting his boarding pass. You reckon this should be the innings that gets him there?
With regard to squad, yes. With what always debate and the talk has been around the playing 11. You know, when you're talking about the World Cup, you're talking about the playing 11. What is your best playing 11 which is going to take the field? As far as squad is concerned, I think he was pretty much there with the team management supporting him during the West Indies series as well, because that 4-5 number spot has been the debate of the year, isn't it? It has been going on through and through. In terms of just the response, in that middle order and what we've been talking about, to have someone who can control the game in that scenario, that is something which is going to be vital. And Raidu today has shown that he's got the capability of seeing that phase off. If you're talking about World Cup, then I think the squad selection, Raidu should be there is what we expect.
I like the way he took chances against Grandholm, against Colin Munro. He charged, suddenly he'd pick one ball, he'd charge and get those runs. I like the fact that he was taking those chances in between.
But I think if you overall look at this Indian innings, while we love Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan, the whole point is there were far too many times when they'd give you 100 and the middle order would either not capitalize or not have the opportunity to capitalize. On this occasion, 18 for 4, this is what everyone's been asking for. Put India to the test, swinging conditions, and this is how they answer. This was a recovery, and you've seen that pretty much every time the result has gone against India when they've lost wickets. 2 or more wickets, 3 wickets in this case in the power play, and you can see the results that have come out. The 254 was slightly different because it was chasing. Here, batting first, you've gone and made a good score.
Yeah, 18 for 4, but when the ball swings, it's not imperative that you lose wickets that early. The ball's allowed to swing. So that's a bit of a worry as well, that when the ball swings, there's a bit of a pattern developing that up front when the ball is swinging a lot, India tend to lose wickets early. So that is worrisome. What happened thereafter is a big plus. And if you remember what Rohit Sharma said at the toss, I think Rohit would have fielded. If it had not been if it had been 2 all, I think he would have fielded. But he said we want to test ourselves, and from that point of view, I think it's been a good outing.
But just to pick up from what Harsha said, I mean, Hamilton was much more a swinging sort of condition pitch early on. Yes, it was swinging here, but you'd have to attribute that to the class of Trent Boult, because 2 of the 4 wickets that fell up front were really nothing to do with the swing, Shubman Gill going hard and Shikhar Dhawan trying to uppercut or slash.
That does happen. I think it's a catch-22 situation, and I was always of this opinion that you have to back your strengths. Even though the conditions are trying, you cannot move away from your strength. So if the ball is there to hit, as a batsman, you got to stick to your strength as well. Yes, there are going to be days where you're going to get out, but that's something which has brought you success. So you should stick to that. So from that point of view, it was okay, because that was Shikhar Dhawan's shot. The shot which Shubman Gill also played was he felt that the ball stopped a bit. That can happen early on in the innings. So you don't have to look too much into it, but the fact that this wicket is better than the Hamilton wicket, that is also evident. Hamilton wicket was much more spongy on its nature, and in terms of ball stopping was quite a lot, and stopping and just seaming a bit also. This wicket actually has gotten better as the play has gone on. So from that point of view, I felt that maybe in this match, Kane Williamson in his captaincy was a little off colour. The way he used his resources was not up to the mark. When you see a leg spinner bowling in the death overs when Hardik Pandya is batting, I think that's taking too much of a chance. When you have Colin Munro, who has been left out of the side, coming back in the side and finishing the quota of overs, when you have someone like Grandholm who has had an impact in the situation which was helping him, you look at that bowling card and you say that, okay, Kane Williamson was a little confused as he went about his business. He could have killed the game earlier on. He could have taken control of the game in a much better way, especially through those middle overs. I think he was attributing to the fact that the wicket was getting better and he was thinking too far in the game.
Todd Astle bowled his first over in the 31st, so he was waiting far too long to use him, and then, as things turned out, used Munro for his 10, and he was forced to use him in the last 10, and that too, that 47th over that he gave him. He had bowled his 4 overs.
Because he didn't trust Colin de Grandhomme to
for
bowl
47
those overs.
and 49.
Yeah,
he had to go to 49 to Nisham.
So that meant that he had 4 bowlers he couldn't trust in overs 47 and 49. The fact that he had to go to Todd Astle, he didn't trust Mitch Santner to bowl that. He didn't trust Jimmy Neesham, and he had overs from Colin de Grandhomme. So he had 4 out of 6 bowlers that he could not bowl at the death. And that explains, I think, why Zach wanted him to bowl either Henry or Trent bowled early to get wickets. Maybe the reason was he didn't trust them at the back. That's why he said he was thinking too far ahead of the game.
Again, I know I keep saying this, but this is where someone like a Tim Southee, the last time England and New Zealand played not too long ago on this very ground, England scratched their way to 234 and won the game, even though Williamson got 100 chasing.
I think because they've, in the first 3 games, the batting top order didn't score runs at all, they're trying to stack up the batting towards the end. And that's why they're playing both Neesham and Grandhope. Ideally, you want to play one of those and play Southee or Bracewell at 8, who are more bowlers than either Grandhope or Neesham. But I think he's a little worried about the top order not scoring enough runs, and so he's trying to stack up the bottom.
Well, that's how it looks. Remember, there's no Martin Guptill, pulled up with a sore back. So Colin Munro, who was playing a domestic game 24 hours ago, has been drafted back in. And as we said at the top of the show, he's bowled his 10 overs, and the fact that he's got himself back into a bit of nick could just be a blessing in disguise for them.
Yeah, who knows?
No break for him, yes, but drafted back in.
So what does Munro do? Does he continue batting the way he is? Does he keep going hard at the ball? What does he do? I guess if that's the way, that's what brought him so far. That's the way he keeps going, right?
I think that's the way he will keep on going. Nichols will look to provide that anchor role, which is going to give the solid start possibly to the New Zealand innings. But from India's point of view, I think this is an opportunity to create that impact. With when you know that your batting has just about got you to the par. Now it's bowler's responsibility to bail the team out from these kind of scenarios. Yes, at the toss is something which you don't have any control over. So what if today, yes, it was a planned approach, but what if New Zealand had won the toss and India was batting first? How do you win a game of cricket from that? The momentum certainly has now been created by Indian lower middle order to kind of go in the field, take the field with the approach that new ball, make the most of that new ball. You need at least 3 wickets by 12-13 overs, to create that kind of pressure on the middle order, because mind you, Kuldeep is not going to be part of this this bowling lineup. So the responsibility is going to be on the seamers, with the help of Chahal to create a match-winning performance from here.
And the seamers means you've got Shami added into the mix with Khalil not playing, but the very fact you have to keep reminding yourself, every time in 2019, including defending 92, you've taken 2 wickets in the first 10, so you just have to say more of the same, maybe look for a third.
This bowling attack is not too different from New Zealand. New Zealand had Bolt and Henry, India had Bhuvneshwar and Shami. But thereafter, India playing Hardik, who's actually a 5th bowler. You're playing Vijay Shankar. Then you've got just the one spinner like New Zealand had, and you've got Kedar Jadhav. So how long does he bowl Bhuvneshwar and Shami? The same issue that he had with Bolt and Matt Henry. But Zach is right. I think if you can get 2 in the first 10, then you've got a very decent chance of winning it.
Certainly have, and as was inevitable, the discussion about Ambati Rayudu has led to his possibility of the World Cup space. But that's as far as Team India is concerned. If you were there on Cricbuzz Live at the start of today's game, you would have seen that Pakistan was the team we were focusing on today. We've had the teams from Zaheer Khan and Harsha Bhogle. We've decided to go centre stage to Simon Dool, who was very candid with his New Zealand and Indian teams. Is he going to be just the same with Pakistan?
Well, does the future look bright for Pakistan for the 2019 World Cup? It just may do. They're heading back to a venue in England where they won the Champions Trophy not long ago, and they're heading back with a 15. Well, if I have my way, this is what it would look like. I'd start at the top with Imam ul Haq and Fakhar Zaman. They look like they could get Pakistan away to a good start, particularly Fakhar. If he gets things going at the top, it makes it so much easier for the quality players through that middle order. That middle order to me would look like Babar Azam, Safraz Ahmed, the skipper, and Shoaib Malik. They would be at 3, 4 and 5 for me. Mohammad Hafiz at 6. Shadab Khan, the all-rounder and a very, very good quality leg spinner. He would be my all-rounder in the side. Fahim Ashraf also can bat, will provide some good quality bowling through that middle order, maybe early on as well if required. Hassan Ali, well, he was one of the stars of that Champions Trophy. He's got to be there. Just needs to rediscover some of that form, and I think he has slightly, courtesy of a test match spot for Pakistan. And then Usman Khan Shinwara, Wari and Shaheen Shah Afridi would round out my top 11 from a Pakistan point of view. The 4 guys remaining, well, you need cover all the way. I'm talking about wicket keepers, batsmen, all-rounder and a bowling cover. So Shan Masood, the opening batsman, I think I'd look for him. Mohammad Rizwan would back up the wicket-keeping duties. Sarfraz is going to play every game, but they might need Mohammad Rizwan there. He is a middle-order batsman as well, if required. Imad Wasim, I'm going to go with him as my spin bowling all-round option. Just as backup in case they lose Shadab or someone like that. And Junaid Khan, he wasn't bad through that Champions Trophy. Remember, he bowled some very tidy overs through the middle. He gives another left arm option. Now, there are a lot of left armers there for Pakistan if they want them, but I think the 2 right arm seamers coupled with a couple of left arm seamers just in that mix will make things pretty comfortable. You might notice I've left Muhammad Amir out, but I think just 5 wickets for Muhammad Amir since the Champions Trophy at an average of 80, and they played matches, of course, against Zimbabwe in that time as well, have Pakistan. So I've left Muhammad Amir out of that side. I've left quite a few guys out of that side that could possibly make it, but that would be my Pakistan World Cup 15 for 2019.
Very disappointed, Dooley, that he took the sunglasses off. I thought he had the perfect colour. He had the green glasses on for the Pakistan team and decided to take it off. Perhaps he wanted to read his iPad better.
So if you have to take off your glasses to read your iPad, Mr. Dool is moving on in life. He's moving on in life. But yeah, it's a call. Junaid
hard call. Junaid versus Amir.
I think we in India, because Amir has bowled well against India, we tend to rate the numbers are probably not that great, and everyone will agree that Amir has not become the bowler that everybody thought he would become. So he's gone in for Junaid. He's gone for the second keeper. So that's a fair call.
Yeah, I think that's again very similar to your side with Mohammad Rizwan as the backup keeper.
Yeah, I think that's the difference is Amir. I think between Amir and Junaid, who would you pick? If you look at Champions Trophy, Amir had impact on the game, and those kind of conditions he's always been good. So that's something which selectors, the management also, and the feedback from the team also would be. So I don't think Amir is going to be left out of the World Cup squad for Pakistan.
Coming back to the game at hand here, 5th game now, 252 on the board. As you said, sometimes you can say, will you take it from 18 for 4? But just look at the total in isolation at the start with the conditions in mind.
Zach said right at the start, what if New Zealand had won the toss and put India in? If New Zealand won the toss, put India in, would you have said 252 is good enough? If you had won the toss, put New Zealand in, would you have said 252 is good enough? I think I said 50-50, I think. Yeah. Because as Zach pointed out, the track started to get easier as you go along. So it's a front-loaded game. You've got to take the wickets up front. But I still think that Chahal might be a better bowler than the 2 New Zealand spinners, so that might be a factor.
Absolutely, and also the extra bowling that you're going to get out. Hardik Pandya, we saw what he did in the previous game, so his possible 10 overs even, we don't know how many he's going to bowl. So that's again going to be a factor as to how Rohit Sharma uses his bowlers vis-a-vis how Kane Williamson used his non-top 2 specialists.
Absolutely, and also it's going to be very important to create that pressure early on. So wickets is something which is going to decide where this game is headed. And if you get those early wickets, then I think even Chahal in the middle overs will be able to put the kind of pressure which is required. You've seen in the previous game, Ross Taylor has taken an approach of being aggressive against Chahal. So you don't want a situation and a scenario where Ross Taylor is comfortable in a strong position, and he will be able to do that only if there is a partnership at the top. So it's important that you expose that middle order of New Zealand as early as possible. They've not scored 250 runs so far in the series, so that's something which Indian bowlers should take confidence from. But all in all, it's just about how you get them in that situation and scenario where the batsmen start committing errors.
Yeah, it's a good feeling when you got only 250 in the bank that you got Shami bowling rather than one of the younger fast bowlers. You got a more seasoned bowler bowling. Yeah.
Where do you lean at this stage, percentage-wise? Which camp?
I think
50-50?
Half and half. What was our? We said 267, right?
Yeah, I was at 242. Yeah. So I'd get the bragging rights. I'm 10 runs away. You're 15 runs away.
Okay. My prediction was
285.
But the reason I said that was, at 267, I might have had India ahead. But at 250, I think it's equal.
Fair enough. Are you going even as well?
Even. Has to be even.
has to be even. Well, both gentlemen sitting on the fence, even though they're sitting on wonderful red couches. But at the moment, we'll call them a fence. I think I'm going to get off the fence and say it's about 60-40 in India's favour. Yes, as gentlemen mentioned, Chahal is going to be a factor. Hardik Pandya is bowling well, and the Shami factor coming back in instead of Khalil, that could be something that swings it further in India's favour. We'll all wait and see. Kane Williamson's chased well in this ground in the past, not too distant past. He's got 100, albeit in a losing cause. We'll see you in Cricbuzz Combox in the 15th over, and also hashtag My World Cup Squad continues. We're going to look at Bangladesh when this match finishes. We'll see you soon.